Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I'll get to Beryl in a moment. I want to get to this strong tropical wave that's been moving by. Some of us yesterday had that uptick in some of the rain. We had some thunderstorms, Dominica, Barbados. We had some big thunderstorms, parts of St. Vincent the Grenadines, and even the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. I've been watching that overnight and this morning. And another little surge north of Guyana may clip us by in Trinidad and Tobago today. I'm not seeing organization out of this, but it is a vigorous tropical wave. And of course, back towards Central America, we had some flooding yesterday. That was what I was highlighting, parts of Honduras. We had some big time flooding. Now here's the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. It is this tropical wave moving by. These are not water waves. These are atmospheric waves, rain and storms above our heads. And when conditions are conducive for development, they can spin up into tropical storms or hurricanes, but not seeing that. But look at all this moisture, just unsettled weather near St. Lucia, Martinique, right up through St. Kitts and Nevis, U.S. and British Virgin Islands, even Puerto Rico today. If you get storms with this, and not all of us will, here's the tail end of it. If you do get some storms, they will be on the strong side, just like we had yesterday in parts of Dominica, even overnight, and Barbados. So scattered rain and storms will be possible, but they are going to be packing a punch. Now, swinging back here, and I'll get back to that in a moment, this here is Beryl being downgraded to a tropical storm. It made its final landfall just to the south of Houston, near the Bay Lake area, as I was talking about yesterday. This has moved in. Winds were gusting in Houston right around 70 miles per hour. We're thinking of them. It did intensify back into a hurricane. Fortunately, it did take its time doing so. We didn't need anything to strengthen quickly, and it's kind of run out of time now that it's moved inland. Now, I touched on this map. I want to set the stage for what is next. I touched on this map yesterday. See a little blue near Jamaica, parts of Cuba, Cayman Islands, back into the Bay of Campeche, and then over toward the Eastern Caribbean. This is over the last 7 days. That means the water temperatures have cooled. They've gone down some, but that is all relative. Now, we had a couple systems pass by. Alberto, Chris briefly developed in the western Gulf of Mexico, and of course, Beryl still dealing, and we'll be dealing with some of the cleanup for that for, could take over a year in some spots, unfortunately. We know how it goes across the Caribbean. We're thinking of you. So the water temperatures with the passage of this did drop a little bit, but not enough. We don't get big drops in the water temperatures this time of year, still running near 29 degrees Celsius or 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And this here, what I wanted to expand on in today's video, is the biggest thing. And I talked about this all winter long, and we saw it with Beryl. This is the ocean heat content. This is the current ocean heat content, where you see these brighter colors, some of the reds popping up near Jamaica, while the water temperatures have cooled. A very hot pocket near Jamaica. That is not only warm water, but deep warm water. That is called the heat content. High heat content is where the water is warm and down deep, and that adds fuel to these things. And that's why we could see future storms rapidly intensify. I don't mean that in a scary way. There's nothing forming now, but I want you to let you know that as we get these tropical disturbances moving by, the ones that look like they could develop in a hurry, because the water temperatures are still very much warm enough, and the incredibly high heat content, it's acting a little bit more like August and September. Again, we've been a month or two ahead of schedule with everything. Now, that's kind of on the negative side, the heat content being so high, because that could lead to rapid intensification. But during the hurricane season, you do get pockets of dry air and some dust around. There is actually one moving back through parts of the Bahamas, down through Haiti. Jamaica may have some dust over toward the ABC Islands. There's a little pocket of dust in here. This is more in the way of dry air, but also some dust that will continue to work its way off to the west. So there's a lot going on out there in the atmosphere, watching it all for you. Now, in the short term, this tropical disturbance, tropical wave that is moving in now, will give us some additional thunderstorms, watching there in Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Puerto Rico today, down through Trinidad and Tobago. So we'll see some scattered storms. And as I mentioned, they could be on the strong side. Plus, we have another tropical disturbance, tropical wave in Central America, additional flooding today. And even tomorrow, you see that high chance of rain, parts of Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Belize. We had some scattered showers and storms yesterday. We'll see that again today and tomorrow. And then you see this tropical disturbance that moves in, kind of hard to find on the map. It does run into some of that drier air, some of the dust I was just talking about. And that's what I was mentioning. No big signs of development out of that one, but still on Wednesday, more heavy rain, even down toward parts of Costa Rica, and scattered showers and storms around Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic through Thursday. And then there is another tropical wave out there that will eventually approach. You see by the end of the week, could see a little uptick in some of the rain for my friends in Barbados. Now, getting a look at the seas, then I'll widen out the view and get into some of those rain totals. Now, with this tropical wave moving in, we have one moving in now, and that's why we have some thunderstorms in spots. Another one in Central America, that is going to keep things elevated in the Caribbean. This is by tomorrow, 2 to about 3 meters, especially central and Western Caribbean, and that's roughly anywhere from about 6 to almost 9 feet. So things will be choppier. This here is by Thursday. So throughout the entire week, we're going to see some choppier seas here. And then in the Atlantic waters, they'll be building a bit more toward the tail end of the week. I'll be watching that and watching a front coming off the east coast of the U.S. that could give us some choppier seas near the northern Bahamas. Now, here's the big picture. So watching out for the scattered storms with one tropical wave. There is what's left of Beryl. That continues to work up toward the Tennessee River Valley. There'll be a lot of inland flooding with that, and that will get tied into a front. It's amazing how the tropics can be tied together all the way from where this started off the coast of Africa, the devastation for some of us in parts of the Caribbean, and then swinging up here with this rain. This is by the time we get into Wednesday, so you can see the additional rain up toward the Great Lakes area. And then I want to show you eastern Canada in a moment. Now, the rain here over toward the Houston area, we've had about 6 to 7 inches of some rain, and then we'll see that inland flooding. The worst would be just off toward the east of the Dallas area. But this here, look at this black shading showing up again. Even some of the red shading, parts of southern Mexico, over toward Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, some of the same spots. We got hit very hard in Honduras yesterday. There were some water rescues ongoing, and Nicaragua. That's where some of the heaviest rain will be at times, and we're going to see some spots for a 3-day total of 150 millimeters of rain or 6 inches of rain. And you see that red, it could be even a little more in some locations. Now, as we get elsewhere, not as much. This is scattered. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, as we get toward parts of Cuba, and over toward Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, we already had some thunderstorms for some of us overnight and this morning, and that's why you're seeing some of these kind of brighter colors showing up. If you get stuck in a storm, same thing, Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, back through Montserrat, Ceiba, we could get a quick 75 millimeters to 100 millimeters of rain or 3 to 4 inches of rain. So not all of us get the rain, but you can ask our friends in Dominica and Barbados yesterday and St. Vincent the Grenadines, parts of us where we did get the rain. We had some heavier storms. Hit or miss, Dominica, South, St. Lucia, Martinique, Barbados, and then Trinidad and Tobago, we could have a little bit more if we get some rain today, 25 millimeters to about an inch of some rain. Some of that rain coming out of Guyana and Suriname and just to the north may try to reach in here. Guyana will have some spots, even over towards Suriname, for a 3-day total of 75 millimeters to 100 millimeters of rain or 3 to 4 inches of some rain. Now on the north side of this is today. I mentioned how Beryl is so tied together. Let me just take you out in time. You get over toward Quebec, back toward Newfoundland, we're going to see some scattered showers. There's going to be fronts moving in. A couple of the storms could be strong. But look what happens as we get toward the end of the week. Look at this moisture here. This is actually what's left of Beryl getting tied into a front. And you see on Wednesday the higher chance of rain over toward the Great Lakes, parts of New England, and the Mid-Atlantic. And then late this week, there's kind of the leftover circulation, if you could call it that, of Beryl. By the end of the week, that is going to enhance the chance of rain over toward Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick. Rain chance will be bumping up later this week with some of the remnants, some of the leftovers of Beryl. So Jamaica, isolated chance today, 20% chance of a shower. Cayman Islands, 10 to 20% chance. And if you are dry, we are so hot this time of year. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, not all day rain, but I'm just watching that moisture to the east. We may see some of that trying to move in. We could get some scattered showers and storms for us today. Barbados, a 40% chance, so not a guarantee we get rain, but if we do, watch out for a few stronger storms. St. Lucia, 40% chance today. Isolated showers possible in Grenada. We're looking at about a 30% chance, and all of us are thinking of Grenada and St. Vincent the Grenadines in the wake of Beryl. Isolated shower or storm today, St. Vincent the Grenadines. 40% chance in Martinique and a 30 to 40% chance the next couple days in Dominica. Be mindful of any lightning. Guadalupe, a 40% chance today. Now, as we get back toward Antigua and Barbuda, the rain chance is a little higher today. I'm hoping some of us that need to get the rain, and that's a lot of us, do get some of the rain. That's that tropical wave moving in, kind of a strong tropical wave but not organized, not seeing that spinning up into a tropical storm. Same thing goes for St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. Rain chance 50% and a 50% chance today, Anguilla and St. Bart's. And that's about the highest chance we've had what feels like a couple weeks. St. Martin, Saba, Statia, 40% chance and a 50% chance in Puerto Rico. A few of the storms with the daytime heating could be on the strong side. 50% chance U.S. and British Virgin Islands, which for many of us has already panned out. We've had some active weather around. Bahamas, rain chance stays kind of small, very isolated. 20 to 30% chance Turks and Caicos. Scattered rain and storms the Dominican Republic. Tropical wave moves in. Rain chance will be even higher by Wednesday. Tomorrow and Wednesday in Haiti, a 40% chance of some showers and storms. 50% chance in Belize, and we're going to keep those scattered showers and storms around Hopkins, Ladyville, over toward Belize City. Rain chance stays on the small side in Aruba, but Aruba, I was watching overnight, there were a couple showers around. Didn't last too long, not long enough. Also watching for some areas of dust that will be possible. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Rain chance higher today in Guyana. We swing back towards Suriname. Still an elevated chance today, a 60 to 70% chance. Now, as we work our way toward Cuba, isolated thunderstorms, a 30% chance, but Costa Rica and Panama, especially Costa Rica north, that's where the flood threat is higher. And that includes Nicaragua. It's one of those situations, not all of us get the rain, but we are going to see downpours, life-threatening flooding. We had that yesterday in Honduras. Watching out for the flood potential, the mudslides, the quick runoff, watching those rivers. Honduras, we're thinking of you. I was watching some of the scenes yesterday, especially as I mentioned in our western sections as you get more inland. Heavy rain around. Guatemala, El Salvador, watching out for those river crossings and the mudslide potential. Mexico City, rain chance building as we go throughout the week, and we swing back toward the Yucatan Peninsula, about a 30 to 40% chance. Isolated shower storm in Colombia, not a whole lot in northern Colombia, 30 to 40% chance in northern Venezuela, and about a 20% chance mainly dry as we swing back toward Bermuda. So Beryl finally weekends, that finally moves in, and it's not, I don't want to say done with, but it's not going to re-strengthen. It's moved inland at this point. Two tropical waves that I'm watching, the one near the British and U.S. Virgin Islands back toward Antigua and Barbuda, and the other one in Central America. So watching out for those areas of flooding. Areas of dust will also be increasing kind of in between these tropical waves over the next few days, and watching some new tropical waves coming off the coast of Africa. A wait and see on how they develop. And I mentioned that heat content. The water is so warm, and it is so warm and deep, and I will be on top of that every step of the way for you. So thank you for being part of this weather community, and thank you for getting the information out about some of the flooding, especially as we get back toward Central America. That was some dangerous stuff yesterday. Keep me posted in the comments, and have a good day ahead.